I've been seeing this post from a lot of women saying something along the lines of, y'all want to blame women for choosing the wrong man, but y'all never want to blame the man who faked his entire personality to get her. Something like that, right? And the reason why that's so dumb, and I say that just letting you know, I call the way I think dumb all the time. All right. I call the way that everybody thinks, including myself, dumb. If it's dumb, it's dumb. The reason why that's dumb is because, first of all, I would expect that from men or women in their early 20s, when that is when you're faking it and being a child. I used to completely fake who I was in my early 20s, in the sense that as a young man, you realize all you had to do to make a woman interested was, one, be attractive to her, and then two, just let her talk her brains out. And I'm not saying the women that quote unquote fell for this and then let me quote unquote hit, I'm not saying they're fools in the sense that, but they're self, well, women don't want to, all the women that have ever been attracted to me because I just let, in my early 20s, by the way, again, this was like when I was like 20 years old, 18, 19, 20. If you like a guy because he just makes you talk your brain out, then that is indicative of how self-centered you are and how self-absorbed you are and how little you think of a man's overall ability to have thoughts and feelings. Men do trick women 1000%. And I have no doubt that men carry that over into older age. The reason why I stopped doing that is because it wasn't fulfilling at all. It was utterly empty. It's that's no way to live. You there's no there's no fulfillment or in sense of liveliness from just being playing an interviewer with a woman just so you can hit. And then even if you are successful and you do have sex with her, who cares, man? Because it's just hollow, hollow, hollow. It's the hollow streets. So eventually, I would hope that men and women would change. I'll grant women this. I have no doubt that a lot of men who are in their 30s, even older than that, are still doing this. They're still faking. The issue why this is so stupid, though, is because you, as a woman you are constantly blossoming and evolving. If you are indeed blossoming and evolving, you, when you are making every effort to understand who you are as a person, not just a woman, not just a black woman, a Latina woman, a Hispanic woman, an American woman, a white woman, not just as your gender, not just as your race, not just as whatever you perceive yourself to be, whatever little identity people got in your head. You have to be trying to comprehend yourself as a human. And if you're not trying to comprehend yourself as a human in a non-judgmental, honest way, you're always going to get faked out by somebody. Or rather, the likelihood of you getting faked out is very high. I would argue that people who get faked out and people who claim that I didn't know this is who they were, that's because, in my experience, I'm just saying, every time I've ever seen that, it's from a person who does not make every effort to understand themselves. And here's the kicker. Let's say you do make every effort to understand yourself. Let's say you're emotionally literate and you are somebody who you turn the lights on and you're fairly aware and you still got, then learn from it and let that be a lesson. But this shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be getting faked out, man or woman. Men complain about this. Men say that the woman who wasn't who she was supposed to be. And again, in my experience, oftentimes it's because the man was just blatantly ignoring tons of red flags. It's because he was just infatuated with her. It's because he was just highly attracted with her. It's because he was in lust with her. It's because, and if it wasn't that, it's because there's this delusional notion as to, like, no, but this is what it should be. This is what it needs to be, as opposed to what it actually is. And by the way, best case scenario, you're both authentic. You both communicate. You can still grow apart. Your value systems can eventually separate, and you could eventually be on two different sides of the universe in regards to your overall perceptions of the world. That's still a possibility. So it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're still not going to have any kind of heartbreak. But this notion to me of faking a personality to get somebody, if you're getting faked out 28 years old and above, 28 and above, if you're getting faked out, it's on you. It's on you. At what point is it your fault? At what point is it what you're attracted to? I can't stress enough that this is for men and women, because men do complain about this. Men do complain about a woman. I've heard this when I used to talk to normal men. They do complain about women like just faking them out, not being who they thought they were. But when you look at the evidence, when you look at how they converse, y'all never talked about anything meaningful. Neither of you cared about your development as a person. All y'all were about was looking cute, looking good. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Hi, babe. Ooh, babe, baby, baby. It was never any kind of real humanity at play. And I can't stress enough, humanity is the common denominator in all of this. As a human, you are intrinsically stupid. As a human, you are intrinsically susceptible to insecurity and to ego being just glorified insecurity. As a human, you're susceptible to hubris, this notion that I don't need to change, I don't need to grow, I don't need to, you just need to do this. Everybody is saying what they want from somebody else, right? I need you to be this. And everyone has this notion of, I'm attracted to this, this, and this, and this, and I like this. But where is your individual singular effort to become a wiser person, a healthier person, a sharper person, a more honest, a self-honest person? Where is that? Where is that effort to realize, you know what? I just like to win. I like to feel powerful. I just like to feel superior. And a lot of times a person gets faked out is because a lot of aspects of your character and your being are still fake. And that's because artificial sincerity runs rampant. And if you believe that you're not a part of the problem, then that to me increase. From my experience, I believe this is just to be a fact. You will get got. And if you don't get got by your romantic partner, you'll get got by a friend, you'll get got by a family member, someone will deceive the shit out of you. Somebody will pull the pump fake on your ass real quick, because you're not making efforts to comprehend yourself, and you haven't dived in and cleaned out those dark corners of your soul, all the stuff that you sweep under the emotional rug. And I will agree with women on this. A lot of dudes are on some completely utter stupid shit. I will agree. But women, y'all have to realize that y'all are on some complete utter stupid shit too. These days especially. I felt like it wasn't as bad like a decade or so ago. Like now, it's an arrogance from everybody. Every American, every race, every gender is on their arrogant bullshit. Everybody wants to act like this shit don't stink. Everybody wants to act like there's nothing for them to work on. Everyone wants to act like they know what they're talking about just because they're saying it with strong feelings. And that's what that post represents for me. To say that you don't want to challenge men who faked it. Men and women both take accountability for the people that you're attracted to. Admit that you are toxic in some way to be attracted to a toxic person. And if you are simply just holding your breath and waiting for this person to not be toxic, or this person claims they're going to change and evolve, and you're still with them, you have to admit that that's you, but that's still you. Even if you're not, even if toxicity was something that you used to engage in, but now you're not, and the person you're with they have their little toxic red flag ass ways, and you're trying to give them opportunities, it's still you though, because you're giving them an opportunity. It's still you though, because you're still there. You have to take accountability for your part in it, man. And then especially lastly, I just want to say, the reason why it's so dumb to that post about the men faking it, what's the thing that bothers me is the child part of it all. Children are brought into this world off of some dumb shit. Children are more and more being brought into this world off of just straight up lustful nonsense. But no one wants to talk about that. And what I see around me, I don't know where y'all live. Here in Houston, I see backwards kids and their backwards mamas and their backwards daddies. And it's so obvious how they will not only be a people moving forward that will not contribute to society, they will inevitably negatively affect society as a result of being indifferent parents, as a result of these little 7-year-olds talking crazy and acting a fool, no parental supervision, nobody cares. And it's because of this simplistic, shallow, surface level way of thinking. This notion about somebody faking who they are. People do that. But the only way you'll be able to recognize the authenticity and the actuality of the person in front of you is if you are able to recognize it in yourself. And when you do recognize it in yourself, what that should do, that should spark something in you to want to investigate further, and it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you feel like crap because you realize that you're a hypocrite. You realize that you are a contradiction. You realize that you're not trying as hard as you could be trying. This goes for men and women. And so ultimately, what does it come down to the way that I see it? I judge people on whether or not they're trying. That's the bottom line. Where are your efforts right now? You can tell me I can know everything about you leading up till today, but right now, today, are you trying? What effort are you putting into having a vulnerable, authentic, non-judgmental interaction with me based in reason? That's all it can be. That's all it can be. What are you trying to shape your mentality for the better on a daily basis? Otherwise, and see, people look at this is why women look at it men and women look at this shit so simplistically, because you don't recognize the importance of everything I just said. You are just on the surface. You are just living on the surface. You're living, I see what everyone celebrates. I see what everyone applies their attention to. I see what everyone says. Everyone is living on the surface. When you make an effort to access more depth, you see someone more clearly. Because you know what it is? When you make an effort to recognize your own bullshit, somebody else's stands out to you more. When you don't make that effort, why should you be able to see? Why wouldn't you get faked out? That's all.